The review, as you are about to see, is the account of the tragedy which befell a group of action figures. It is all the more tragic in that they were plastic, but had they sat on the shelves a very, very long time, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and the macabre as they would see that day. For them, an idyllic review would soon become a nightmare. The events of that review were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of internet history. Outside the Box Reviews, Texas Chainsaw Week.
Today on Outside the Box Reviews, it's War. Figure Wars. And today we're looking at 3 different versions of the masked killer Leatherface from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And these are done by the 3 most prominent companies in modern horror figures. On the left, we have the McFarlane Movie Maniacs Wave 1 Leatherface. This is the bloody variant here. In the middle, we have the Mezco Cinema of Fear Wave 1 Leatherface. And on the right, we have the brand new NECA Ultimate Leatherface figure. These figures span quite a large range of time. The McFarlane piece came out in 1998, the Mezco came out in 2007, and this new NECA version came out in 2015. So there's a pretty large amount of time spanning in between each of these figures. However, unlike some previous figure wars, there isn't a huge price difference between these guys. I honestly don't really remember the MSRP for the 2 older figures, but they were probably ranging somewhere between $10 and $15 if memory serves me right. And so far, the newest version I've seen anywhere between $22 and $25, so these are really roughly at about the same price point if you kind of count in inflation. Each figure comes with its own supply of weapons. The McFarlane version came with a bucket, a severed head, and severed arm. I don't have those accessories, so I've inserted photos of them. Both the Mezco and NECA versions come with hammers, Mezco's being a little more oversized than the NECA one. All 3 figures also come with the iconic chainsaw. McFarlane's version is very stylized, looking little like the one seen in the actual film, opting for a longer blade and more black and ornamentation on the chainsaw body. Both NECA and Mezco went much more movie accurate. Mezco's is still a little more stylized and lacking some of the finer details the NECA one provides. All 3 chainsaws feature quite a bit of blood deco. The NECA Ultimate figure also comes with a meat hook, a cleaver, and a knife. All 3 of these figures have Leatherface in his classic killer outfit, seen towards the beginning of the film. As time went on, the sculpting seemed to get better and more accurate to the film. McFarlane one not having too much fine detail on it, the Mezco version being a bit more stylized but a bit more accurate to the film, and NECA's being more screen accurate still. All 3 Leatherfaces are in their brownish tan shirt. The NECA and Mezco version feature the correct striping and short sleeves, while the McFarlane version lacks the striping and opts for rolled up sleeves. All 3 also feature the classic Leatherface tie, and all 3 look pretty movie accurate. Each Leatherface has an apron made out of a softer material than the rest of the body. The McFarlane version features straps that are sculpted onto the rest of the body, with the apron itself being a slightly rubberized piece, though still pretty stiff. The Mezco version has a removable apron, where the straps going around his neck are just hidden under the collar instead of completely going around, and the entire piece is made from a rubberized plastic. NECA's version features a vinyl apron that is considerably more pliable than the plastic versions. And since this McFarlane version is the bloody variant, all 3 aprons feature a fair amount of blood splatter. The forearms in all 3 versions are sculpted fairly well, though only the Mezco and NECA versions include the bone bracelet. All 3 figures have fairly well sculpted pants, with detailed seams, pockets, and wrinkles. The McFarlane version features more standard shoes, while the Mezco and NECA ones go for the more movie accurate cowboy boots. Both Mezco and NECA feature interchangeable pieces to depict Leatherface wearing the old lady mask. Mezco's version is considerably stylized, depicting a greenish flesh tone, lacking the appropriate movie accurate rips, and having a large plume of gray hair on top, while the NECA version is much more movie accurate, including the rip in the mouth, the deep set eyes, and the bald spot on top. Mezco's version also features an alternate apron, so you could switch from his yellow killing apron to a blue polka dotted one. For articulation, all 3 have head movement. The McFarlane can only swivel side to side, but both NECA and Mezco feature a full ball joint. At the shoulders, McFarlane can move forward and back on a cut joint. The Mezco version features a little better range on a ball joint, and the NECA version features pin and socket shoulders. The Mezco and NECA versions can both swivel and bend at the elbow, while the McFarlane figure has a cut joint at its left elbow. The NECA version features ball jointed wrists, the Mezco versions can swivel as well as hinge, and the McFarlane figure features a forearm rotation on his right arm. The McFarlane and Mezco versions feature a cut joint at the waist, while NECA has a ball joint. From the waist down, the McFarlane figure has no further articulation. The Mezco figure can swivel at the hips as well as bend at the knee, and the NECA figure features pin socket joints at the hip, also has a cut joint at the upper thigh, a bend and rotation at the knee, and a ball joint at the foot. All three figures stand at roughly the same height. The McFarlane figure is the shortest. If the Mezco figure could stand straight up, would probably be the largest as well as the bulkiest of the bunch. However, without articulated ankles, he's incapable of standing at full height, and the NECA one falls somewhere in between, but is also the slimmest of the three. These three depictions of Leatherface are a pretty good depiction of the evolution of action figures over the past 17 years. In this lineup, we are missing NECA's original Leatherface release in their Cult Classics line, but it's interesting to see the figures grow more and more movie accurate, as well as more articulated as time progresses. And looking at them side by side, it seems like each one was a great representation of what horror figures could be for their time. So let me know in the comments below, out of these three Leatherfaces, which one do you prefer? Also, make sure you follow me on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews, and check me out on Facebook, link below. And until next time, Texas Chainsaw Week is coming to a close, but there's plenty more horror reviews to come here on Outside the Box Reviews.